Welcome back to Trends Recapper. Today we'll be recapping a romance drama called After We Collided. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie starts with a guy named Hardin who had spent the night in his car. He wakes up in front of a train station and starts to pee. A homeless man comes up to him and asks for money, but Hardin gets angry and tells the man to leave. On the other hand, a girl named Tessa can be seen going to her first day of work, where she meets a guy who works at the same company. When she got there, the manager decided not to introduce her to the boss because he looked so angry. Tessa is given an office where she works so hard that she ends up sleeping all night and wakes up at 9:50 in the morning. When she woke up, her boss was sitting in her office and asked her to get into a car with him and another person. Their boss says they were all going to a digital conference where he will have to get the money for expansion. Hardin goes to a mysterious woman and gets ready to get a tattoo on his arm. While the boss goes to a hotel and tells her manager to take Tessa shopping. The scene then moves to a hotel room where the manager says she is not only the boss's assistant but also his lover. After Vance's wife died, she took care of his son sometimes, and things between them started to change. Tessa also finds out that Hardin put her forward for this job. Hardin's tattoo was slowly getting better. His friends send him a text message asking him to hang out with them that same night. When Tessa comes down with a charming and pretty dress, everyone falls in love with her. Trevor was talking to Tessa in the nightclub, and he told her that he hates going to nightclubs. Inside the club, a man meets them and offers them a big drink, which they end up sharing. While the boss was dancing with Kimberly, Tessa started to feel the effects of the drink and got up to dance. Hardin was still sad, and his friends tried to cheer him up so he could get over the breakup. Tessa started dancing and kissing a random guy with a lot of passion, thinking that the guy is Hardin. Molly tried to kiss Hardin, but he pushed her away and left the room, so she started shouting at him. Tessa calls Hardin and tells him how drunk she is. When Hardin says that he texted her many times after they broke up, but she didn't answer any of them, Tessa cuts the call short. Hardin also says that he knows where she is before the call is over. Trevor walks up to Tessa, who asks him for room service, French fries, and ice cream. Trevor spills some wine on himself because of Tessa after they talk a little about themselves. While Hardin found out where she was, Tessa was trying to help him get the stains out of his pants. Hardin is knocking on the door when he sees Trevor's glasses and uses his fist to open the door. He was surprised to see him in the bathroom, and then they both went into a room to argue. Tessa gives Hardin two options. He can have romantic moments with her or he can leave. Hardin suddenly picks the obvious choice, and they start to have some romantic moments. The next morning, Tessa and Hardin are still sleeping. She almost forgot that she now works for Vance. After getting a call from Kimberly, she goes to work out of the blue. Hardin told her to go back to bed, but she's not there yet. He came over and started arguing about last night, when Tessa told him that last night was a mistake, but Hardin wanted to talk about it. She says by accident that she kissed a guy at the club, which gets Hardin very excited. When she tries to avoid the subject and run away, Hardin tells her that he also spent the night with Molly, while she kissed the guy to tease her. This makes her throw food at Hardin and leave. Tessa comes down and apologizes to Trevor for what happened last night. He tells her that he worked at Vance Publishing last year and knew Hardin as well. Hardin can be seen at his stepbrother's house, asking what he should do. Hardin tells them everything that has happened up to this point, and they leave in a rage. Later, Landon sends Tessa a text message to tell her that Hardin did not sleep with Molly. Tessa looks at the picture of Hardin and goes back to work. Trevor walks into her office and tells her that he helped her get a cheap car and that the company will pay for its insurance as well, which makes her very happy, and she ends up kissing Trevor, which scared him. Tessa goes back to their old house, where they used to live to get her things. Instead, she finds a present from Hardin, which is a tab for her Kindle that has all her favorite books on it. We can see them in their old bed after a while. She tells him she will leave the next day and that she bought a car. In the meantime, she liked it when Hardin put his hands on her. They started kissing each other over and over, and she looked like she couldn't stop. One thing led to another, and soon they were enjoying and appreciating being with each other. Later, Tessa goes to her mother's house, where she runs into her old boyfriend. He says something about her dad and finds out that her mother wouldn't let her father meet her for some reason. This makes her mother very angry, which makes her leave. She comes back to Hardin later and gives him a hug. In the middle of the night, Hardin started having a dream about when he was a child and having a nightmare where Tessa comforted him. When Tessa wakes up in the morning, she goes to find Hardin's mother. Hardin's mother tells Tessa that Hardin has been having nightmares since he was 8 years old. She tried a lot of medicines to get rid of his nightmares, but nothing worked until she met him. The nightmares stopped after that. Later, Hardin gave her another gift because she had already opened the first one while he was away. Tessa is going to have a great day because of this gift. Hardin will do whatever Tessa tells him to do. We can see them ice skating, which Hardin seems to be doing for the first time. Next, we'll see Hardin and Tessa taking yoga classes and having a lot of fun while it lasts. They leave the yoga class and are about to take a shower when she gets a call from Kimberly. When they get to the office, Kimberly is so busy that she tells Hardin and Tessa to take care of Vance's son because she is too busy. Later, when he was sitting with Hardin, he heard him say some swear words, but Hardin handled the situation in a way that kept Tessa from hearing them. It was finally over, and the little boy and Kimberly both left. While this was going on, Tessa and Hardin were alone in their office, ready to be romantic, and they said, "We love each other a lot." We're taken to the scene where Hardin's father invites her mother and Tessa to meet them. They finally get to the big house where his parents used to live. During a conversation, Hardin tells her that he was going to move back to London. This makes her a little sad. Right after that, he got into a fight with his father over the fact that his father had left his mother and Hardin 10 years before. As things get worse, Hardin hits his father very hard. Hardin's moms were also upset with him for pulling this stunt. She leaves after telling him that the sack could kill her and make him meaner. When they get back to their house, Hardin is angry about everything and starts drinking a lot. We can see him listening to music. When Tessa came back, she called his name, but he was wearing an earpiece, so he was able to sneak out of the room. Later, we can see Tessa talking to Trevor, and he asks her to have lunch with him. She talks about Hardin and his problems, but Hardin thinks it's a problem because she loves him. He also says that his boss gave him a better job in Seattle, so he moved there. Later, Hardin calls his father and tells him he's sorry. Tessa also comes back to him, and when she sees that he's fixed everything, she smiles. Later, they decide to go to a party together, for which Hardin gives her a kiss. Her boss calls her and tells her that she has been doing a great job at work and has been given a big promotion. Hardin could join her if he wanted to. She had to think about it for a while, and she didn't tell Hardin. Once they got to the party, she started drinking and playing a ball game. Hardin was getting nervous because Tessa kept drinking while playing the game. Hardin sends someone to talk to her upstairs. Later, he comes back and tries to take Tessa home after she's been drinking, but she wants to keep drinking. Molly and Tessa were standing next to each other. They play the truth or dare game with each other, which doesn't go so well and leads to a brutal fight between them. Tessa is taken back to a bedroom where they start to have romantic moments and end them right as the new year begins. While Tessa was in the bathroom, Hardin saw the text that said she was going to Seattle. She also sees Hardin telling a girl to keep a secret when she comes down the stairs. Things get heated up quickly, and they end up fighting violently before going their separate ways. The next morning, when she wakes up, Hardin isn't there. When she checks her phone, she sees draft texts of her apologizing to Hardin from the night before. While Hardin was charging his phone in a friend's car, he saw one of her texts and decided to call her. Tessa tries to find her phone but gets sidetracked by Hardin's call, which causes her to get into an accident. On his way, he sees Tessa and runs after her. In the next scene, Hardin has called many hospitals to find out where Tessa is, but none of them have her. He finally calls Tessa's cell phone, and Trevor answers. Trevor tells Hardin that he should never see Tessa again without letting her know that he called. Later, when Tessa gets back to their house, she finds a letter in which he wrote that he was going to London, far away from her, because it was best for her. But Tessa was so desperate to talk to Hardin that she even sent her a text message. Hardin began to have bad dreams about Tessa. One day, his mother told him to fight for what he cares about, and then she left. The Vance Publishing Company was having a party. He asks Kimberly to marry him by bringing up his son. Trevor also says that he picked up her phone while she was in the hospital and told Hardin something. He also wanted to tell her something else, but he leaves for a while. Tessa sees Hardin standing in front of her all of a sudden, which makes her nervous, so she runs away. When Hardin goes after her, he finds out that she just drove off, but she wasn't the one who left in the car. Tessa was standing next to Hardin when she spoke up to let him know she was there. She walks over to the taxi and tells Hardin to join her inside. Soon, we'll see that they get along. One day, a homeless man tried to meet Tessa, and that's when she realized it was her dad. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. If you want to see the next part of this movie, make sure to subscribe and like.